Hey everyone, it's around 7:06 Mountain Daylight Time here in Idaho. Streaming some severe storms in the Treasure Valley and coming out of Oregon. Dark clouds outside looming, wind starting to churn, people starting to go, hey, what's going on? There is a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service, and that is right here. Back up here in just southwest of McCall, all the way back towards Payette in Ontario. And you can see that we have a line of storms in there. And what's happening, obviously, it's incredibly hot out. It has been for a while. And then this rain-cooled air is getting into that hot air. And that's evaporating in the dry air and sending cold air down to the surface. And it's spreading out real quick. And that causes the wind. That causes some wind gusts up over 50 miles per hour. So that's the warning that we do have in effect right now. And I'm going to check another source here to get you the particulars of that warning. So severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That covers that pretty much all those areas. Boise County, Valley County, Northern Canyon County, Gem County, Adams, Washington, that's going to get hit real hard. Baker County, Malheur County. This one now goes until 7:45 Mountain Daylight Time. So this is going to go for a good portion of the next 45 minutes, and we'll be tracking it here. The big problem with these storms is the wind. So the wind is what we got going on across the region. So let's go and check here. Let me close this up and go to my observations and bring that up here for you. There we go. So here are our wind gusts and observations across the region. We did see a few when the storms first came on through back up here in around Ontario and Payette that were over 50 miles per hour. There's one lingering right there. That is Nissa. Nissa's got a wind gust of 50 miles per hour, so that could definitely do some damages out there. So we definitely want to seek shelter and take the necessary precautions with this gust of wind that's coming across the region. So let me pull away, and you can see very clearly where the highest gusts of winds are. So, there's one right there that is coming in towards Canyon County. This looks like around New Plymouth south, right along 84. So now we're starting to see some of this downburst wind or gust front come on down through the Treasure Valley. So this site here, getting rid of these overlays, and that is Black Canyon. So Black Canyon right now got a wind gust there 44 miles per hour. So that is rolling down the Treasure Valley even as we speak. So if you've watched me before, you see the red numbers are the wind gust, the black numbers the temperature, and then the wind direction coming on through. I'm going to go and let people know that I'm on here doing a live stream. I'm going to share it if I can track it down. My channel, videos, and live. I got 6 people watching. Thanks for watching out there. Be sure to comment and let me know where you are and what you're seeing out there. Let me share this to Facebook. And so we can get more people watching. Share this because it could be pretty serious out there this evening. I know there's a lot of people out there doing some outdoor events. Right now, seek shelter. Please share. All right, so that's off to Facebook. And let's do the old Twitter. Yeah, if you have any storm damage or any reports, be sure to comment as well. Watch and share. All right, so we got a couple of those out there right now. So let me come on back here and get to work. Do some damage, right? Well, I don't want to do damage. We don't want damage. I know some of my roofing friends do. So with that, by the way, yours truly has... Oh, hey, Doug. Good to see you, bud. I have been let go. Best Buy and a lot of corporations cutting back because of this horrible economy that we are in. And so, burst of wind in Kuna. Kuna, I should say. So I was let go from Best Buy. Got a little severance, but I've been working for a roofing company. Go figure, for wind damage and hail damage. So perfect little fit for me. So if you want me to come by, you can get a roof for just the price of your deductible. Just contact me. You can message me on Facebook, or you can contact me. I guess Facebook is the best way, or the Weather Show, the number 1 at gmail.com. All right. So right now we'll come out. I'll get on your roof. 10 minutes, free estimate. Hey, you got wind damage, you get a new roof for the price of your deductible. So that's kind of how it works. Love to come on by, and boy, any help I can get would be great. But here's the winds that are coming down to the Treasure Valley. Hey, you got some breezes in Meridian. Yeah, so it's not the damaging winds yet in Meridian. We've got 24-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It's just kind of churning. So what's happening with the atmosphere is it's so hot throughout many layers of the atmosphere that this cool air is getting in there, and it's just churning and rolling, and these big rolling areas of wind form from cold air sinking and warm air rising. And so with that, we get these big gusts of wind. So the biggest so far have been up by Weiser, Ontario, but I do have that at Blacks Canyon Road back up here on 84 Northwest at 44-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and I've got the one over here that's by Nissa, that's 50 miles per hour. That is what's coming our way. Between 45 and 60-mile-per-hour winds will be rolling down through the Treasure Valley floor. So, yeah, thank you. Actually, a blessing in disguise. But they gutted everybody, and so I got some severance there. Best Buy, I can survive through the holidays. But hopefully I can sell some roofs, right? Going up there and see how many shingles are blown off from this wind. But I'd love to come by. If you want me to swing by your place, I can come up there and get on the roof and let you know if you can get a roof, new one, from your insurance company. I'm just going to let the guy who I'm working for know. All right, so maybe they'll all tune in. So that's kind of what we have going on. So let's go and check out the radar, the satellite picture first, and you can see it's very clear that we have the storms coming on in from the south and west direction, big clusters of clouds kind of rotating around the region, and they're propagating into this heat. And so some of the strongest ones are still back towards the west. And so we're kind of now getting into the leading edge of some of these storms. Now, the storms are going to get the air turning like I talked about. That will send more gusts of wind back down through the valley floors over the next several hours. So it's going to kick up a lot of dust. Now, the bad news about this warning that's up across the region is that it's right over where the fire is. Now, the good news is, yes, they'll get a little bit of rain, but the bad news is there's going to be a lot of wind from this line of storms that are coming on through. So let me take that transparency down. You can see here there is your core line. Ooh, there's a great picture. This is a great picture, folks. So there's your gust front. That's it right there. So you see that tail right there coming from Emmett down to the south and down through Caldwell and just west of Nampa. So what time was this? This was 7:09. So this is already through. So it's probably coming in through Meridian right now. Eagle, seek shelter. Boise, if you know folks there, give them a text, give them an alert. Say, hey, this gust of wind around 45 to 55 miles per hour is just on your doorstep coming on through. And you can see it looks like it's come through Caldwell and Nampa already, right down through Lake Lowell. So hopefully nobody was out boating when this thing racked through. I bet you there's a few high seas over there on Lake Lowell, probably 1 to 3 foot. Every 3 foot with that gust of wind. Yeah, not a good place to be right now. You don't want to be up on Lucky Peak, Anderson. All this wind, this gust of wind, I've been telling folks, has been going on down. They're wanting a link on like a text. Like you can't go to YouTube and just search. Weather show. I'm live. Unbelievable. All right, boss, I need a raise. All right, here we go. So, what do we got going on? Yeah, that's a good gust of wind right there. So let me go and check out. Hi, Jason. Let me go and check out. Glad you're joining us right here. Please share. Get the word out because it's happening right now, even as we speak. Gust of wind coming on down through the Treasure Valley floor. So, yeah, here's your wind gust. And so there it is. So consistently now with the wind gust that has passed through Caldwell, and we saw this back up towards Black's Canyon, 44-mile-per-hour wind gust. So this is a wind gust up around 45 miles per hour that's ripping down through the Treasure Valley, and then the wind behind it is going to keep churning. So you can see that there are two 44-mile-per-hour wind gusts around Black's Canyon, which is the one right there, where the temperatures dropped to 79 degrees. 79 degrees. That's the temperature difference with this cool burst of wind that's coming down through the valley floor. So most areas are in the mid to upper 90s. You got temperatures in the 70s come on through and continuing to hit through there, hit the Treasure Valley. Yeah, hit that like button. Hit the like button, folks. Love to have you do that, and then share on Twitter or YouTube, and let's get the word out and try to help warn some people. We warn a couple of people. We're doing pretty good across the region. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning was in effect back up towards the north, and those storms, which are still ripping up towards the north, right up and through here, this is where a lot of the precipitation is. But like I mentioned, that rain comes down into the dry atmosphere, and it evaporates. It forms a cool air mass, and then that plows to the surface. We call them downburst winds, and then they just spread out. And this is spreading out anywhere from 45 miles per hour to 55 miles per hour and rolling down the Treasure Valley floor. So that's that tail. So you can see the thunderstorms up here around Ontario and Payette. And down through here, you can see this tail coming on down through Caldwell and down through Nampa. So this is continuing to rip down towards the east. Now this was, let's refresh this. I'm refreshing it right now. Oh, there's a new warning. They've expanded a warning to our north. Oh, no, it's the same one. It's the same one. Let's see, it's 7:12 is when this latest radar was. And that's all moving towards the east-northeast up here to the north. Now, this line that's back down here through Caldwell, back in towards I-84, south around Lake Lowell, that's probably coming right on in through Meridian even as we speak. So let's do this and check the observations again, because this is real-time observations that are happening in the Treasure Valley. And these red letters or red numbers, those are the wind gusts. So that's the wind gust. So the sustained wind at the Caldwell Airport is about 35 knots. The gust of wind is around 44. So that's a pretty good chunk of wind right there coming on down. But notice the temperatures back here towards Blacks Creek right up here, 81, 79. So there's an 82 back here towards Ontario, and 85 in Fruitland, and Nissa 82. So that's the cool air mass being sent to the valley floors out of the thunderstorms, which are to the north, and it's rolling down the Treasure Valley. It's going to go right through Canyon County, right through Ada County. It's going to continue down towards Elmore County. If I pull away here, let's see if we have any more high wind gusts. So check this out. That is just southeast of Mount Home, 100 degrees. That's the black number temperature, 38 mile per hour wind gusts from a thunderstorm that was there earlier, but that's not the big push. Now, when this gets there, this wind gust that's coming down through Meridian back in towards western areas of Boise, when that rolls down and interacts with that air mass down towards the south, things are going to start churning, and it's going to get these big rolls. We call them solenoids in meteorology, and they start rolling, and that transports massive amount of wind energy as the two air masses clash. And that's what we're concerned about here. That wind can get, in that 45 to 55 mile per hour range. It can definitely do some damage. So, yeah, again, thanks for watching. Please like, please share. Let's get the message out. Right now, I think around Boise in the Bishop Kelly area, right where I'm at, they're out there practicing and stuff like that. These folks are going to get quite the surprise here over the next 30 minutes or so. So latest radar coming in 712. Let's see if that gives me a refresh. Observations refresh, radar refresh. Here's my radar refresh, 717. So let's see if we can get a latest image there. So there you go. So this is the latest image. This was about 6 minutes ago, and it looks like that front is just to the west of Eagle. Probably coming through Eagle and Meridian right now, probably back here. Let's see, there's 55. It's probably coming back towards 10 Mile, coming through that area right now, and continuing moving down towards the south and east. That's a pretty good bow, too, of wind, and so that's going to get on down in towards Kuna. It's going to continue tracking down towards the southeast and then continue rolling. Now, what may happen once this cool air mass interacts with the heat down below, it'll start sending that air up into the atmosphere, and that may trigger some thunderstorms post-wind passage, if you will. So as the wind moves down through the area, we may start to see some gusts of wind come on through back towards the north and west. So that's why we are seeing still 90 with light winds in Kuna. It looks like yep. So yeah, Kyle, thanks for sharing that. That wind gust is not there yet. It's just on your doorstep, though. Keep me posted, because I bet you're going to see a wind gust anywhere. It should spike well over 35 miles per hour, and you may get up into that 44 mile per hour range as that gust of wind comes on down to the valley floor. Lots of wind, lots of gust and dust, just what we don't want, dust. The problem is this is coming in from the northwest, so it's bringing smoke with it, and we're not going to get rid of that. So there's your big gust of wind in Meridian right now. Thank you, Jolab. Appreciate that. And any observations you can give us, that would be fantastic. Again, share this, like it, share it with your friends and family, share it in your social media. Let's get the word out as this system continues to rock and move down through the Treasure Valley. A big gust of wind coming on through the region. So pretty good little wind here. And I want to, what do I want to do? Put this into motion and show you a little sense. I'm going to switch it here to national. See, the national is a composite, so it doesn't pick up the gust front coming on down. I wanted to loop it, but it takes a long time for the local radar to loop. And I don't want you to miss out on vital information, so I'm not going to do that. So this one, 717, let's see, it's 725, so we should have another one in the queue. Let's refresh it, see if we can get another one, 720. So this is the 720 image, and literally it's through Nampa now, and the wind's northwest of Meridian. There's that gust of line. So this is just dust and wind. This is not rain. This is the radar in its sensitivity picking up dust and wind. So we pick up that moving down through the valley floors. And so that's what this whole green line is. Looks like a snake right across the region. It's just on the doorstep of Eagle. It's coming in through sections of Meridian, Northwest Meridian. It's going to get through Meridian even as we speak. It's getting through Nampa. Kuna is going to start get through the region. So, hey, it looks like Wayne is there from 2A Roofing. Wayne, I already talked about you in the roofing. So they're all going to call us to go do roof inspections. So thank you for tuning in. So if you're just tuning in, I was let go from Best Buy, got some severance. My buddy Wayne there, who's now on there, Next Level Enterprises, is starting a roofing company, 208 Roofing, and we're out doing it. So I get up, I look at your roof and look for wind damage for free. And, for the price of your deductible, you can get a whole new roof if there's some wind damage or hail damage. But this is not a hail event. This is a wind event. You can contact me on Facebook. You message me, or you can contact me theweathershow1@gmail.com. Here we get, so Northwest Meridian. Again, Joe Labs in Northwest Meridian. She getting it. That's right. All right. Eagle down through Meridian. So it looks like it's coming right down. What's that? Chinden. So Chinden Boulevard. This is 55 and Chinden. Eagle stretching back in towards Meridian. That green line again is wind. That's a gust of wind that was released from the storms to the north. And that wind, cool air mass, now surging down the Treasure Valley floors. And as we look at the observations behind and see what we have coming on in. So right now we had a 44-mile-per-hour wind gust at the Caldwell Industrial Airport in between Caldwell and Nampa along the interstate. And that wind gust, as soon as my system updates here any second, I think it's come back down. Yeah, it looks like it's 37-mile-per-hour wind. So you're looking anywhere between 35 and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts rolling down the Treasure Valley floors. So, yeah, it looks like 38, and then back towards Blacks Creek, where it was 44 miles per hour, it is 23. So this is just a burst of wind that's going to be moving on through with the dust. But look at the temperatures. The black numbers here are your temperatures. And in front of that gust of wind, 90s, mid to upper 90s, near 100. Behind it, upper 70s to low 80s. That's going to feel good. But that is definitely starting to churn the atmosphere as it goes on through. I just knocked my windscreen out. Now let's take a look back up here where the bigger storms were. Now the higher observations, so this is where to the north of Emmett, where the heavy rain is in the mountains. I don't have any weather stations up there to look for the observations, but you can see back here where we did earlier around Payette in Ontario, we had 55, 56 mile per hour winds coming on through these areas. So I believe it was this right here. And let me see. It won't let me open it up, so I'll go to a different one and I'll just tell you what it was. The peak wind gust back in Ontario, 53. So there was a 53 mile per hour wind gust just a little while ago coming out of that airport back in Ontario. So that's kind of where this wind that's coming down through the Treasure Valley originated and will continue pressing on down towards the south and the east. It will continue doing that down through the Treasure Valley floors. So latest radar, let's go back and update that, get you some real-time information. 7:30 is what I'm showing. This is 7 minutes old now. That warning, the severe thunderstorm warning in that orange area, by the way, that is in effect until 7:45. And then from that cluster of storms, the gust front, you can see it looks like a snake coming right through here. That is the wind. It's basically dust that the radar is picking up. You can clearly see that clear round circle there. That's the radar down south of the airport out in the desert. And then that beam goes into the atmosphere and picks up all the tiny particulates, including raindrops, in this case wind, and we can see where that wind is going. So it looks like it's just on the doorstep of Meridian. A lot of this should subside a little bit, but anywhere from 35 to 45 miles per hour. Super dusty on Linder and Pine. Yep, that's right where that is right now, coming on through. That's the leading edge, Josh, of the winds that are coming on through. And that is going to continue moving down towards the Flying Y. So I am down by Bishop Kelly and Boise, Cole and Franklin, and an apartment complex, and I'm just seeing a little bit of churning of wind here. Nothing serious here yet down by the Flying Y, but you're getting it back towards Nampa, back towards Garrity Boulevard, and that wind looks like it just whipped through Lake Lowell and Kuna. My friends down in Kuna, it looks like it's coming right down. So if you live on the west side of Kuna, obviously you're going to see it kick up here in the short term. And this looks like somebody said 63. So Dale looks like he says he had a 63 mile per hour gust. Where are you, Dale? Where are you located, my friend? Dale, are you the gentleman from Northern Illinois? There was somebody on the feed get me from Northern. Oh, you're in Vail. That's right. You're out in the small hill in Vail. Yeah. So that's great. Yeah, you got the leading edge coming on in. Kay Luxker. So thank you for tuning in and let me know there. Yeah, share this. Let's get the information out, folks. If you hit the like button and you give me a share on Twitter, Facebook, say, hey, we want to warn folks in Boise and Ada County, Eagle, Meridian 55. Yeah, so if you get some pictures of that dust storm, send them. Post it to the chat. Let's see them. See what you got out there. Post it to the feed. Let's see what we got going on so we can warn the folks that are downstream of this thing down into Boise. Should be a pretty good dust storm because of all the garbage that's been in the atmosphere. And again, if you're just tuning in, huge gusts at State and Row, huge dust everywhere. Thank you for that observations, Bill. Thank you. So we got a lot of people out here watching and sharing. That's good. Let's get more people involved to get the message out. Looks like we are past the big gust of wind in Caldwell now, even though there's probably a lot of dust still in the air. Nampa, it looks like it just came on through that area. And let's refresh here. So now we're at 728. So now we have a better idea. So this was just a little while ago, this radar updated. So yeah, it's coming right down Eagle Road right now, stretching down through Kuna. You're getting it. And we got the line going right up through Eagle up to 55. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for about 5 more minutes or so, or 10 more minutes or so, and that will continue getting down. So, yep, wind suddenly hit you down in Kuna. That's it right there, coming on through Kuna, and will continue coming on down through the region. So, folks, yeah, keep sharing, keep getting the message out. I see people are trying to message me on my phone and stuff like that. Just focusing on what's going on here in front of me. So I apologize if I'm not getting to you right now. Yeah, that's the problem, Dale, the fires, right? So, this is not only going to blow up some of the fires that are already going on that we've been dealing with smoke with, this is going to kick off new ones. And so, yeah, this is not a fun scenario. There is another round of storms that look to come our way Sunday night going into Monday. And because of the hurricane, matter of fact, let's go and take a look at that. And I can just give you a quick look at this. So because of this thing down here, Baja, that giant hurricane, that's going to wobble up towards the north. And so this right here is going to come up this way and then just fizzle, right? It gets in these colder waters, it's going to fizzle. But that's a ton, just a ton of moisture in the clouds, and then that's going to come on up into the Pacific Northwest. So that is what I'm concerned with, is some of the moisture down here gets picked up into this hot air mass, because the hot air mass is kind of going to go away. We're going to get a little bump in it, if you will, to cool us down. But It's still going to be warm enough for some storms, and I think that next round will be on Sunday. So let's go back to the radar because I know a lot of people are tuning in. I want to share with you, first of all, this warning and that cluster of storms back up here to the north going through McCall, Cambridge, back up just east of Payette. That's the one that really packed anywhere from 55 to 60 mile per hour winds earlier. Heard Dale say he had 63, so we had some good gusts of wind back through Vail. The gust of wind from that is that little tail that we see right in through here, stretching down through Emmett, coming right down through Eagle, getting into Meridian. Looks like it's getting into Garden City now, a big gust of wind. I should be seeing it outside my window here over the next 10 minutes, down by the Flying Y, just east of the Flying Y. Cuna's getting into it as we had an observation come on in. And then down towards southern areas of Canyon, down in towards Melba Road, getting hammered with some gusts of wind. And it looks like it's already down past or getting through Marsing. So that's dropping from north down to the south. But look at this. We've got more storms back in eastern areas of Malheur County. More rain. We've got more back here just around Burns. Those are moving towards the north and the east. And then we have some more back down here along 84, just south of Mountain Home. And those are sliding down to the southeast, getting down towards the Magic Valley. But boy, pretty substantial amount of wind coming on through. So if you're just tuning in and didn't hear earlier, I got let go from my job. I was a supervisor at Best Buy. They're cutting back because of this horrible economy. And I am good. I got a little severance. But I am literally now working for my good friend Wayne, who's on the chat right now, 208 Roofing, going out looking for wind damage, right? What a perfect job for me. I get to go and do weather stuff and then see if you get a shingle or some wind damage. And I don't know if you know, but you can get a new roof for almost the price of your deductible. All right, right? No joke. And I've been out doing that and really enjoying meeting some great people. So I'd love to come by, free estimate, 10 minutes. I get on your roof. We get the chat. We strike up a new friendship. It'll be fantastic. And then we'll see if we can get you a new roof. So if you're interested in that, just message me on Facebook or the weather show, the number 1 at gmail.com. Severe thunderstorm warning is going to be discontinued here probably in the short term. I'm not sure if they're going to extend it towards the north and east of the National Weather Service, but they may. 55 is about ready to get pummeled up pretty good. Looks like we just got an update there. New update with the rain showers coming on through up there, and then the gust of wind. Looks like it's kind of petering out a little bit. Not as maybe strong. Thank you, Jill Love. Thank you. It's been interesting. I know nothing about it, but know in the last 3 weeks I have a crash course. Got some great folks helping me out, and it's been interesting to say the least. Working on commissions, right? Let's go and check out and see the observations for these winds. So we are seeing a little bit of good news. The wind is actually diminishing a little bit. Looks like we're not seeing any 45 mile per hour gusts or 50 mile per hour gusts anymore. Looks like we're in the 30s. So that's certainly some good news. So hopefully limit any of the debris that's blowing around across the region. 32, 22, that's the airport in Boise. There's the Flying Y, Boise State University back towards Meridian. Yours truly lives right over here around the Bishop Kelly area. And right now we don't have anything here. I'm looking out the window. It's starting to churn, though. I'm seeing a little bit more of the churning of the leaves on the trees and the dust. Not here yet. So it looks like with this storm, still some good winds back to the northwest. That's 38 miles per hour. Still back at Nampa and Caldwell, 30 miles per hour. So not the humdinger of a wind that we had earlier back here towards Vail, Ontario, Payette. So I think I'll be going knocking on doors back up here tomorrow. Fruitland, here I come. New Plymouth. If If you watched me on Fox years ago, we had a gentleman who used to do Weather Watchers. His name was Norm, and he would call in. He was wonderful. Loved calling in Weather Watcher stuff. I'm guessing he must be passed on by now. He was an older gentleman, a veteran, served in the military. Wonderful. But people loved Norm. They would come up to me on the street, and they say, "How is Norm?" It was great. I love my job. I love meeting people. Love talking to you folks on chat. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for getting the information out. Although it doesn't look as serious as it once did, which is certainly some good news. Let's go and look at the radar. And I'm going to refresh this. 7:36, so very recent. And it looks like that outflow boundary, if you will, of the gust of wind is kind of fizzling out as it gets in towards Ada County. There are some showers, though, forming up behind it. And so with the turbulence in this atmosphere, keep in mind the boundary of wind. I mean, you're talking 30,000 feet. Some of these winds that were rolling at your surface are going all the way back up there and transporting some of those winds down to the surface. And that's when we really get the dangerous winds like we had earlier. Dale out there in Nissa, he had, or Vale rather, had 63. And we saw 53 back at the Ontario airport and in Oregon, probably around New Plymouth and back up towards Payette and Weiser. I'm guessing winds were well over 50 miles per hour there. And right now they're in the clear. This line of storms will pack some of those winds. Good news, bad news scenario. A lot of this is not hitting the ground. The precipitation that's being picked up here with the radar. And I'm going to take the warning off. But it is kicking up more winds and driving probably some of those fires a little bit more east. So bad news there for the fire that's been going up there around West Mountain. There's another outflow boundary down to the south. So there's several of them. So there's one right there, and then there's another one right there coming in over the Owyhees out in the desert, pushing those antelope around, right? Pushing the antelope around. So right now, I think we're looking fairly decent with the wind. So thank you for tuning in, folks. Thank you so much for all the observations and the interaction. So appreciate everybody. I love doing this. Totally love doing this. So, yeah. Sweet, sweet, sweet. We do have... trying to get a little closer to see exactly where the rain is along 55. Looks like it's just coming into Cascade now in McCall. Just on over the mountain, just the west side of the mountain. That's where the heaviest rains are. They'll be moving to the east. And, of course, when anything comes over a mountain, it diminishes on the leeward side of it, if you will, where the winds are sinking down the slope. Where the air is rising up the slope on the other side, that's where the storms are typically the strongest. I used to call it the Owyhee Shuffle. These are the Owyhee Mountains back here to our southwest. Storms would come up and just bend right around them or come over them and sink and just fall apart. And that's something we would see a lot across the region. That's sweet. We got 11 people watching, 10 with likes. I appreciate that. That's awesome. The more the merrier. Just takes one, right? Just takes one. If we can save one life, we're doing pretty good. And, of course, folks are going to be watching this afterwards because after we do these lives, it goes to my feed and people can watch over and over again. So, yeah, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to the Weather Show with Vin Crosby, hit the subscribe button. There is a little bell, and if you hit the bell button or the bell, you'll get an alert. Anytime I do an update, I post a video, or come on one of these lives, you'll get an alert, and you'll know exactly when to tune in. So, yeah, love to have you do that. Still some storms out there, though. Temperatures have cooled behind, which is what I'm looking forward to. So it looks like anywhere from 25 to 35 mile per hour now with that gust of wind coming on down. That's what I'm seeing here on my observations. So Chinden Boulevard back towards West State Street. Yeah, we're tough. We can handle this, that's for sure. 30-mile-per-hour winds. That's not a big deal. Matter of fact, I get 16 here. I hardly see anything going on out here towards Boise. So good news is that it fizzled a little bit. And we dodged some of the damaging winds in Ada County. But not so. Back over towards Vail, western areas of Idaho, back towards Payette, and up towards Weiser. That is where I'll be tomorrow. I'm going to go up there and see if we can get any roof damage. There's a pretty good wind there. That's up there on King Hill. So that's pretty high. Yeah, it's 5,500 feet, 48-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That gives you an idea of just how these solenoids work, you know, where the winds go from the surface and they rotate because of the churning air, the cold air down to the surface, kicking some of that warm air up, churning in the atmosphere. It can go up there, you know, tap into some of those winds up around 30,000 feet and then transport that down. That's when we get real serious wind damage down in the Treasure Valley or anywhere in the country. That's where you see some of those big downburst winds coming on through. Wayne down at Mountain Home saying he's getting some winds picking up again down there. So, yeah, it's probably that outflow, Wayne. Yeah, I see the Air Force Base has got 36-mile-per-hour gusts. Let's go back to that radar and check out that outflow boundary that was down there in Mountain Home. Those who have been sticking with me since I started doing this, it was a disaster my first couple of times I did this. I couldn't get the mic right and all that stuff, but now I'm getting a little more comfortable doing this, so this is pretty cool. So this is about 7 minutes ago. Yeah, you got just a weak outflow boundary down there. Wayne and Mountain Home, you can see, and I should say Wayne is the owner of 208 Roofing. And we do other stuff too. He was telling me the other day he can do gutters and all this stuff. So give me a shout. We'll come by and get you a free estimate and get you taken care of before this winter, which is still in a La Nina, by the way. La Nina usually means, and then we're going to segue in towards a normal pattern. La Nina typically means we get a good snowpack. If you remember last fall when the La Nina kicked off, our drought was gone. And if you remember, the drought in the west was gone in the first few months of winter and fall because of the massive snow we got in moisture, and that was all La Nina. So we'll see if we get a repeat of that this year, which would be great. I think everybody agrees on that. Yes, the atmosphere is still churning. It's still volatile. So this sets the stages for our next big event, which I talked about briefly a little earlier, and I'll talk about it a little bit here now of what's coming up for the weekend. So with our observations here, if I go and do this and add this, you're going to see a blue number pop up there. So that blue number is the dew point temperature. So the black number is the air temperature, the red number is the wind gust, and the blue number is the dew point temperature, how much moisture is in the atmosphere, why it feels humid and whatnot. This was a dry thunderstorm event. So this is our typical thunderstorm event here in Idaho where we don't have a lot of humidity and we get the gusts of wind coming down the valley floors. And this is very typical for us here in the Treasure Valley. What's going to change, I believe, is because of the hurricane down to the south. Right there, down around Baja. Look at that eye. That's a pretty mature thunderstorm. Folks who went down for a vacation, boy, not a good time down there in Cabo and all those areas. But this thing is going to roll right on up Baja, get up here into the cooler Pacific waters, and then fizzle. Hurricanes need 80-degree temperatures or warmer in the water temperatures to stay mature. And this won't get up into the waters where they're not there, and that's what it'll lose its energy. But this is a boatload of moisture that's in the atmosphere. I mean, there's so much water in the atmosphere of hurricanes. That's why we see so much flooding when they come on shore. This will continue moving to the north. All that moisture is going to get caught up in an atmosphere that the weather pattern is really not going to differ too much, even with what we have coming on through. So let me do some drawing because I like to draw. And I'm going to change the color to blue. So hurricane is here and all the moisture is here, but we still have this trough that's coming through here, kind of going up there. And so the ridge of high pressure is still in place back here across the northwest. And with that ridge of high pressure, this moisture is going to ride right around it. Now, not all of it, but some of it is going to come on up. And it looks like that timing models have been fairly consistent, but Sunday night going into Monday. And, you know, if we get enough moisture in the afternoon on Sunday where temperatures will go back into the 90s, then we'll have another round of thunderstorms with a little bit of humidity in the mix. And so that will spark up some potential heavy rains and more lightning strikes. So certainly something to keep an eye on over the next couple of days across the region. So that's what I wanted to talk about for the future, what we have coming in our direction over the next couple of days. And refresh 741, 746. So they can see now the warning is gone. It was 745 until 745, so the warning is no longer in effect. And it looks like we're in the clear as far as damaging winds go. It's just going to be miserable with the dust that's in the atmosphere. I feel bad for you folks who have allergies or asthma because this is just not a great scenario. Of course, it's churned up a lot of the smoke and stuff in from the northwest with the fire that was in the northwest. And so that's coming our way. There's still some showers back towards the north and west, but they're going to be continuing to move on towards the north and east. There are some storms down here in the Magic Valley. They'll continue to move down towards the south and east. They could get some high gusty winds with that. But generally, the energy in the atmosphere for damaging winds was right up here in our section in south, pretty much north and west of Boise. The big bullseye was back towards Weiser, Ontario. Lightning data, how many strikes? Oh, let's see. Can I do lightning data, Dale? Good question. I don't know if this has a lightning component to it. I don't see any lightning with the National Weather Service. Let me see if I can find something online and see if I can bring it up. No, I think there's some sites out there, but it's you got to pay for it. Oh, here's some lightning strike data. I wonder what this is. Don't mind me, I'm just doing some research. Oh. Maybe I did find something. Lightning strikes. There is something out there. I don't know where it is. Location, interest, map, a place, year 2022. Yeah, so it is out there. I just don't have access to it right now. Sorry, my friend. But that's something I will look for in the future because that would be a cool thing to have. Yeah. I can tell you, show you a model where lightning strikes were. Let's see if this is... Oh, that's an old one. Yeah, disregard that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to delete that. Bye-bye. But yeah, let me look up this model here, and I think it has some lightning data on it. So let me try that right now. And northwest. And lightning threats. Let's see if this gives me anything here. It doesn't give pretty much where the strikes were. This is just the models. I'm just going to add lightning here. Almost there, browser. Okay. So this is a model depiction. Let me interact with it. So this shows basically where the model predicted the thunderstorms, and so these strikes are pretty light. Very lowest levels of flashes, but you could see there's blue all throughout all that area where we had storms earlier. Right in through here, pretty much where all those storms were. There are some darker shades of green back up here. It's tough to see it on what you're looking at because it's so distant, and I don't think it allows me to zoom here on the fly. So oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe and like the video. And anytime, if you hit the little bell with the Weather Show of Vin Crosby, anytime I do a video, you'll see the alert. Yeah, I've been doing it since Snowmageddon. So basically, I called Snowmageddon 2 months before anybody else, and video went viral. Went like one third, 200 views, so 150,000. And that's what launched the Weather Show with Vin Crosby. At the time, I was working at Best Buy because I lost my job, lost everything. And then the long story short is did 6 years at Best Buy, became a supervisor, recently let go. Now working with a roofing company, 208 Roofing. And I can come on out and get on your roof and let you know if you had wind damage from this storm. And so I'd love to do that. Get you a free estimate. You just pay your deductible and your insurance, and then you can get a new roof. So if you want me to come on out and inspect and let you know if you have something, contact me on Facebook or the Weather Show 1 at gmail.com. All right, so that is that there. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so I'm glad people are tuning in. We've got some people watching. I love it. So let's give you the latest update with the radar. Looks like it's 751 is where we're at. Gust front gone. Look at that. Just kind of fizzled right on out. More storms back towards the west, though. West of just south of Baker City. Over there in eastern areas of Oregon, and the rain showers, if there are any at all, hitting the ground. Probably a few drops. A drop here and there of just awful smoke. Disgusting drops of rain, smoke-filled rain coming on down through McCall, Cascade, Donnelly. It must be miserable. Smells, I bet, too. Horrific. It's taking all the smoke out of the atmosphere and bringing it down to the surface. And then the storms down here. So that is that. But I really love doing this. I am going to, I think, cut this short. Well, I've been doing it for a while. Let's see. Trying to see where I'm at. I thought I had a video going up here. I guess I don't. There's my live. Oh, there it is. Yep, we've got 7 watching now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks you for all the likes and all the chats and the interaction. If you see any wind damage out there, let me know. And yeah, awesome sauce, awesome. So you should, I think over here you can, in the chat, you can also send donations if you want, but I'm not that desperate yet, so you don't have to do that. But I'd love to come and meet you and then check out your roof. I would love to do that. So that would be a great thing. So thanks for watching, my friends. I'm going to call it a night, and you be safe out there.